Once again, a very warm welcome. We are in for the last game of the day. Atlanta Fire is in action once again. And this time they are batting again, having been put in by Raga Warriors. The usual suspect, the opening pair of Babwa and Gajanand Singh, are about to take the field. The Warriors are already in readiness. The umpires are in there as well, and it's quite a hot afternoon now. The music's still pumping. There's a lot of activity going on. Atlanta Fire is batting first after being put in by Warriors, and Gajanand is going to take the strike for the first ball, and Johnson is going to be bowling from the northern end. It's pretty comfortable in shade, but pretty hot. The sun is beating down, late afternoon. Absolute picturesque setting, as I've been saying all day. This has been fantastic event. We are into the last game of the group stages and last game of day 2 before we start the knockout stages tomorrow. Umpire is scoring to the scorers, and all in readiness as Johnson will bowl the first delivery to Gajanand Singh. False start for Johnson. Once again, this is Gajanand Singh. He has a quite tournament so far by his standards, but flashes at that one. I think it's gone all the way. Yes, it has. Wide outside the off stump, and Gajanand threw the kitchen sink at that. Carried all the way to the point boundary. Flying start for the little left-hander. The Warriors, they won the toss and put Atlanta Fire into bat. Atlanta Fire, one of the earlier games today, scored 114 in their 10 overs as we watch Johnson once again. This time is shot, another flash. Third man comes around, good bit of fielding. It's not easy on this outfield, but fielder got his body behind and restricted the scoring just to a single. 7 for no wicket, Atlanta Fire. Short, Babwa hasn't got hold of it. But fielder sitting back on the edge of the circle. So no chance of a catch. Babwa also played a gem of a knock in the first game. He scored 33 in no time. Left hand, right hand combination. Field changing once again as Johnson. Flashes and misses Gajanand. I've seen Gajanand play many times, and a couple of months ago in Houston he was in scintillating form, scoring hundreds in a T20 which was actually a 210 competition. Innings, a game comprising of 2 10-over innings for each team. As Gajanand has flashes, a superb catch. That is a sensational tag at square leg. as Gajnan had really timed that, but away to his left and diving to his left, caught this cleanly. A superb catch. Great cricket. As I was saying, Gajnan wasn't looking in form. He tried to hit himself out into the form, but that was a superb take, and the crowd were up on their feet towards our left. We got good sprinkling of spectators on the grassy banks on either side of us. So they really enjoyed that. That was a superb take. Midwinter was the fielder at square leg. He was just behind square, hovering around where the square leg umpire would have been. Diving to his left, took a sensational catch. Ricardo Paul is the new man in. Right hand. Outside edge and gone. Good wicket once again. Johnson on fire here. Superb line, superb length. And that was a regulation catch to the keeper. And Paul is out first ball. Atlanta Fire 8 for 2. On a hat-trick, Johnson, but before Johnson will be on hat-trick when he resumes his second over. 2 wickets of his last 2 deliveries. And now from the commentary box end, we got Stephen Taylor taking up the attack. USA national captain. After just leading the USA team into the ODI status in ICC World League 2. Superb performer for USA over the years. Very experienced. Very skillful, and he's leading the troops here. Skipping an action, but this time it's full toss with on offer, and Babwa has opened his account. 4 runs to him. Babwa is very experienced himself. It's going to be a good contest between Taylor and Babwa. Taylor to Babwa once again. Full pitch. Bounces over the head of Taylor. 1 run to Babwa. Taylor's got his sweepers on the onside. Huge boundary towards long on and mid wicket, that side of the field. And he's got a long off as well. 4 fielders in the ring for the right-hander. Palash is the new man. He's going to take up his first delivery from Stephen Taylor. Got a short third man. A point cover and extra cover in the ring on the offside as Taylor floats this. Quick pace. Palash lets it go. Intimidating figure of Taylor at this level. Flighted delivery, changing his pace very nicely. Stephen Taylor. He's going through his over pretty quickly. Already 4 deliveries gone. And ready again. This was a quick delivery, turning back into the right-hander. Too good for Palash. And as I said, Taylor is not giving any time for the batsman to settle as he turns back and quickly ready for the next one. That must have been one of the quickest overs. Taylor firing it through. Too quick for Palash. Quality from Taylor. 2 overs gone. Atlanta fired 13 for 2. Johnson on a hat-trick to Babwa. In the air. Has he got it? Yes, he has. That's the hat-trick for Johnson. 3 wickets in 3 deliveries. And superb performance from Johnson. He's rocked the Atlanta Fire's top order. Gajanan Singh, Ricardo Powell, and followed by Shazam Babwa. The cream of the top order is already back in the hutch, and Johnson is celebrating his hat-trick. Johnson, superb performance from him. He's got the hat-trick. 2 wickets of his the last 2 balls. 2 wickets in the last 2 deliveries of his first over and first wicket. 3rd wicket on the first ball of his second over. So Johnson has performed the hat-trick. As Antoine is the new batsman. He swings at 8 off the inside edge. 1 run for the Fire. The score finally moves from 13 to 14. But Johnson has been the star of the show so far. Incidentally, both these teams have qualified for the knockout stages already. So the result of this game could only affect on the standings for the top 4, which will determine and who plays who in the semi-final. But as far as qualification for the next round, both teams are through, as Johnson once again getting good bounce off the outside edge of Palash. He opens his account. Palash is on 1. Antoine is also on 1. 15 for 3 over number 3. Reggae Warriors And the quick bowler, Johnson, has set this place alight with his scintillating bowling. Has to thanks in no small manner to the fielding as well. Sensational catching. As this one's jacked back into the left-hander. But the field in the ring is set deep to allow a single. And that's what Antoine got. Johnson, 3 wickets for 11 runs in his 1.4 overs. Palash is on strike. Remember, Atlanta Fire made 2 changes. Vinod is not playing, the top order batsman, and Naveen Stewart is also not playing, having got an injury in the first game. Another superb delivery, a Jaffa. Too good for Palash as he hangs his bat at that. Superb bowling from Johnson. He's getting that ball to jag off the seam. It's a matting pitch. Not the usual AstroTurf, but the old-fashioned matting, it may seem. And the ball is moving about. Another one, bounce and outside edge. No. Johnson appealing. And that ends his superb spell. He's bowled 2 overs for 11 runs and 3 wickets. Take a bow, young man. That has been an excellent performance. Atlanta Fire, after 3 overs, 16 for 3. Bowling change from the commentary box, and Pearson is replacing Stephen Taylor. Atlanta Fire 16 for 3. Antoine is on strike. He's batting on 2. Full pitch delivery fired in by, and that's Goner. This time big shot, and Palash is the one I think who's gone. Good bit of fielding once again from the Reggae Warriors. They're on fire in the field as Palash was short of his ground. It was his call, but he couldn't make his ground in time, and the Atlanta Fire innings is rocking right now. Wickets keep tumbling. They hardly needed the run out at this stage, but that's how things go sometimes. Run out by 16 for 4 Atlanta Fire. Sensational bit of fielding from McFarlane as Palash is the one who's dismissed.
Number 4 batsman.
Who is number 5 batsman? Is it Antonio and
Antoine. Antoine is batting on 3. Chris is on strike. Pearson. Strong shot. Straight to the fielder in the covers. No run added. So the fourth over is done and dusted. 18 for 4 Atlanta Fire. Pearson bowled a very good over. Went for just 2 runs. 18 for 4 Atlanta Fire. Big shot at the start of the next over. Over the fence. A much needed boundary, and Antoine has provided the first maximum for quite some time. So 24 Atlanta Fire. They're a strong side. They bat deep, but they've been put under a lot of pressure by the Reggae Warriors. As Thompson has been carted through the offside, through the legs of the sweeper. Can't blame him for that, because that was fiercely struck. And with the bumpy outfield, he got his body behind, but somehow that sneaked under his legs. So 4 runs to Antoine. He's trying to make a little bit of a comeback for Atlanta Fire. He moves to double figures. He's on 13. 28 for 4 Atlanta Fire. Now the floated delivery, this is in the gap, but sweeper on the offside. This time manages to stop the ball. Antoine to 14. Atlanta Fire 29 for 4. Approaching the halfway stage of this innings. 4.3 overs gone. Chris is back on strike. It's the right-handed Chris. Field's been changed around. Stephen Taylor in the field, pulling strings, trying to get the attention of one of his fielders. Now the strong shot, straight back to the bowler. Did well to get a hand to it. Have to wait and see if he's suffered an injury. Looks like it. That was a fierce blow once again from Chris. Looks like he's leaving the field already. I'm not sure if he's got a knocked finger or he's just a split webbing. We'd have to see. He's not staying in the field. He's walking straight out. Just 4 deliveries. Thompson under fire from Chris. In the process, just a single was added to the total. 30 for 4 Atlanta Fires after 4.4 overs. It'd have to be seen who will come and finish the over. Medwinter is taken to the bowling crease now to finish off for the remaining 2 deliveries for Thompson. And Medwinter was the man who took that sensational catch of Gajanan Singh at backward square leg. We're still waiting for the substitute to come in. Left-handed Antoine is on strike. 30 for 4 Atlanta Fire. Let's see, quite a good sprinkling of spectators towards our left. The Atlanta Fire dugout and the fans finding some shade. It's very comfortable in the shade to watch cricket. It's been quite an enthralling day's play, and we're into the last game of the group stages. Well, the semi-final lineup is complete, but we'll only find out after this game that who would be playing against who. Remember, tomorrow 2 semi-finals and a final is going to be played, and the team that finishes first will play against the team that finishes on 4th place, and they will play the first semi-final. So any team that wins the first semi-final would have the luxury of having a little bit of a rest between the 2 games before the final, whereas the second semi-final, the winner of that semi-final will go straight into the final without much rest. So still something on the line on this game. Both the teams will try to finish top. The Atlanta Paramveer, they're another contender. They've also gone through to the semi-finals. As we're all in readiness once again after a slight injury break to Thompson. Medwinter will be bowling to Antoine. Sweepers on the offside are at backward point and cover and long off. Long on and deep mid wicket also sweeping as gentle medium pace from Medwinter. Just the 1 run added to the total. Antoine moves to 15. Medwinter down the leg side. Have to wait for the umpire signal. It may well be a wide. Yes, indeed. So 2 runs to the total. 33 for 4. Chris is back on strike. Or is it Antoine? Antoine is back on strike. I beg your pardon. Left-handed Antoine. This one's in the air, helped it on its way. No protection down in that area. 4 runs to finish off the over. 37 for 4, Atlanta Fire at the halfway stage. Pearson to continue. He bowled a magnificent first over. Went for only 2 runs. Quite lively crowd now in the evening. Having had a very good day's cricket today. Still going strong. Beautiful evening now. As we watch Chris take up the strike, fierce blow down the ground. Long off's trying to come around but won't get there. Superb stroke. Tremendous power from Chris. He's already struck Thompson with a fierce blow in the previous over, who had to leave the field. Atlanta Fire moves to 41 for 4. Chris moves to 6. Antoine is batting on 19. Another powerful blow from Chris. This time straight to the sweeper. Atlanta Fire's innings is catching some momentum. 42 now. Chris batting on 7. Antoine batting on 19. Pearson now be bowling to the left-handed Antoine.
5.2.
Swing and a miss. The opportunity was there. Antoine looking to hit it too hard. Missed out on that. Pearson once again, this time up and over. Sweeper's going around, but that one's gone through him, and 4 runs. So as I said, a little bit of a fight back from Antoine and Chris. Antoine moves into 23. 46 for 4, Atlanta Fire. Bit of a partnership after the loss of 4 early wickets for Atlanta Fire. Trying to put a competitive total on the board. Still got 4.2 overs left. But the Reggae Warriors got the likes of Stephen Taylor in their lineup. Could be a good contest if Atlanta Fire could get up to about 90 or 100 runs on the board. Won't be easy from here, but that could well make a game out of that. Field's been changed around now. Extra fielders been brought to the offside. Only 3 fielders on the onside, and all of them patrolling the boundary. Square leg, mid wicket, and long on. Up and over once again, square of the wicket. Spins away from the sweeper, but well managed. So just the 1 run after all that for Antoine. He moves to 25. 47 for 4. Left hand, right hand combination is giving quite a lot of headache to the Reggae Warriors fielders. Once again, you got 3 sweepers on the onside, a total of fierce blow once again, but this time Pearson got in the way. He finishes off his over, or 1 to go now. I think that's the end of the 6th over. 47 for 4 Atlanta Warriors. We're ready for the 7th over, mid-over. Chris came down and changed his helmet. He's running down towards his non-striker end position. The wind has picked up. A little commentary booth. The tent is in danger of being flown away. I got with me Roddy Lalchand, and we'll make sure that it doesn't happen. I said, beautiful evening now. The shadows across from our left are lengthening almost to the middle. And I'm sure it's pretty comforting for the fielders who are fielding currently on the offside in the shade. Midwinter starts the new over and it's been sent sailing over the extra cover fence. A magnificent 6 from Antoine. 50 has been brought up for Atlanta Fire in the 7th over. Antoine is trying his best. He moves to 30. After the loss of early wickets, Antoine is fighting back. He's got good support from Chris. Midwinter strays down the leg side, looking for a quick single, Chris, and gets it easily in the end. Leg by was the signal from the umpire, so Antoine remains on 30, but the total propels to 54. DJ is pumping the music. Very good atmosphere here at the NH Scott Park in Atlanta. Midwinter. That one's kept slightly low. Just got the bat down in time, Chris. He's a tall fellow. Yet another dot. Bowling wicket to wicket. Midwinter, third man fine leg, both up in the ring. Once again, wicket to wicket, and Chris couldn't do anything about that. Just to push it down the ground for a single. Chris moves to 8. Earlier in the innings, Johnson had a sensational hat-trick. Dismissed the top of Atlanta Fire with 3 consecutive deliveries. Gajanand was taken sensationally by Midwinter, who's bowling down at square leg. Powell got a Jaffer, and Bob was skied one to square leg as well. 3 top players. Very rare to see in these hat tricks, as next one has been swinging away, miss. Umpire thinking about it, but decides against calling it a wide. As I was saying, it's very rare for someone to get a hat trick with 3 top batters, the top 3 in the lineup. More commendable from Johnson, as the next one's in the air. Fielder back paddling, but it's over his head and into the forest. 6 runs for Chris. He's opening his shoulders now, trying to support Antoine. That's the end of the 7th over. 61 for 4 Atlanta Fire.
6-1.
Beg your pardon, that was Antoine on the last ball of the previous over. So Antoine is moved to 36. Bit of a fight back for him. Now it's Chris on strike, and I think it's Taylor. Is it? It's McFarlane. Oh, that was a chance. A hard one, down pretty low to his left. Firmly struck by Chris. Just a 1 run to the total. 62 for 4. We're into over number 8. Chris is batting on 9. Antoine, the belligerent Antoine, is back on strike. Atlanta Fire could do with him taking most of the strike for the remaining 17 deliveries. It's a big blow into the stands, down to our left. A huge 6. And Antoine is on fire. 42 for him. And Atlanta Fire 68 for 4. It's a very handy partnership between Antoine and Chris. Chris's contribution is only 9, but he's ended good support to Antoine, wielding the willow quite successfully. With the bowling lineup that Atlanta Fire has, it still looks like getting into a danger zone for the Reggae Warriors. As this one is struck fiercely once again, but straight to the fielder. No run added. Anything in the range of 90 and 100 could be a competitive total. As Chris is struggling, I think. Antoine was looking for 2, but Chris was never interested. 69 for 4. Antoine batting on 43. Big and tall figure of Chris is back on strike. And this time went for the big one, but he's been castled. Hit the top of the middle stump, slightly slower in the air. And Chris went through the shot too early and got knocked over. That's the 5th wicket gone. A very good partnership has come to an end. Chris made just 9, but he supported Antoine and slightly recovered from the earlier losses. So, good little knock from Chris has come to an end. Atlanta Fire 69 for 5. Gibran is the new man in after the fall of Chris. 69 for 5, 7.5 overs gone. Stephen Taylor in the field is pulling the strings. Make sure they keep their discipline, the Reggae Warriors, and not let Atlanta Fire get out of bounds. Antoine has fought back really gallantly for Atlanta Fire after the loss of 4 early wickets. Once again, fired into the pads. Keeper has to chase it. Looking for 2. Chance of a run out at the batting end, but I don't think the throw was picked up cleanly as keeper was chasing. So 2 more runs to end the 8th over. 71 for 5 Atlanta Fire after 8 overs. Stephen Taylor is back into the attack, this time from the far end. Antoine is batting on 43. 7 short of a well-deserved 50. We'll have to wait and see if he gets there. More importantly, he'll be looking to contribute a few more to the total to get them to a total of 90 or 95 runs. Give them some chance to their bowlers. I could still see a very good contest from here on in, as Atlanta Fire's bowling lineup is very good, and to top it off, their fielding is excellent. So we're in for a good run chase. So we watch Taylor. Low full toss, but Taylor has got his field right. Slight fumble there allows the batsman to come back for second. Excellent running from Antoine. He realized that he's the one who has to take most of the strike in the remaining 11 deliveries. Gibran responded as well, so that's a good bit of cricket from Atlanta Fire. Taylor is looking to fire that ball in low at the stumps. He's got a backward point, cover and extra cover on deep fence, protecting the short boundaries towards the offside. Also got a long off. He's got a square leg, deep mid wicket and a long on the onside. Strays down the leg side. He got lucky there, Stephen Taylor. Just got away with a wide. It was an absolute free hit for Antoine to collect some runs. Taylor got lucky. Antoine has smashed him down the ground. One bounce for, I think, Antoine moves to 49. Just one away from his 50. It's been a sensational knock from him. 78 for 5. We're into the 9th over. Atlanta Fire getting into a territory where they would feel that they've got something to bowl at. It can change quickly in the remaining 10 overs. Taylor fires that one in the block hole, and too quick for Antoine. Taylor is a very canny operator, as this one is smashed into the ground and straight back to Taylor. Another dot ball. Antoine is on 49. Full toss as he got cleared the infield, but the extra cover fielder. That brings up the 50 for Antoine. A terrific knock under pressure. A gallant fight back and counter attack from Antoine. Superb batting. $79 for 5. Taylor for the final ball of his spell. He's got Gibran. He's batting on 2. Wide outside the off stump, and Gibran is giving it the thump over extra cover. Terrific blow. And this innings is back on track for Atlanta Fire, as Taylor has gone the journey in this over. Still finishes with a decent 2 overs, none for 19. But Atlanta Fire has gone up to 85 for 5 with just 1 over to go. The final over about to come up, and the best thing for Atlanta Fire is that Antoine is on strike. He's got 50. Just 25 balls, all it took for him. So Atlanta Fire will be happy that they got contributions not only from their big names, but through their batting lineup. Everyone's chipping in when needed. That's always a good sign for any team. To see the Reggae Warriors taking their time before the final over. McFarlane is back for his second over. He went for 10 in his first over. He had a wicket as well. They could do very nicely with the wicket of Antoine at this stage. Keep the score to a reasonable limit. A big over here for Atlanta Fire could take them over 100. That could be a very formidable total. As this is thrown wide in the air, fielder back paddling, gets a hand to it but fails to take the catch. The end result is just a single and Antoine off strike. It was a difficult catch, peeled out off the outside edge of the bat for Antoine. Fielder got a hand to it, back paddling, but never easy. Now Gibran is on strike, who hit Taylor for a 6 of his final delivery in the 9th over. This time the boundary on the onside towards mid-wicket is the longest part of the ground. It'll be interesting to see what lines McFarlane decide to bowl. He's got, 5 fielders on the offside. Fires it off the outside edge. It's in the air. Oh, that looked like popping out of his hands, but he got it. And a big wicket, but Gibran played a little cameo. He's gone for 8. And Atlanta Fire is 86 for 6 with 5 deliveries to go. Salman is the new batsman, but Antoine is on strike, which is a good thing for Atlanta Fire with 4 deliveries to go. A couple of big blows from Antoine could propel Atlanta Fire pretty close to the formidable 3 figures of 100. It's been a very good fight back from Atlanta Fire, mainly through Antoine. The crowds have swelled towards the left side of our commentary box. This is in the air, but this is the longest part of the ground. Fielder's getting underneath it. Superb catch under pressure. Held his nerves. Got pretty close to the fence. But he signaled out, and we'd have to take his word for that. I thought it was a clean catch. Just in front of the thickly populated grassy bank. Took a clean catch. The umpires are still conferring, but that was very well judged by the fielder. Morgan was the one who took the catch, but a sensational knock from Antoine has come to an end. Scored a scintillating 50, giving his bowlers something to bowl at. He's returned for 50 and 86 for 7, the Atlanta Fire. Three deliveries to go, 86 for 7. The Reggae Warriors took wickets towards the back end of the innings, slowed the progress after the early burst from Johnson, who got a sensational hat-trick. Batsman crossed over. Salman is on strike. He could hit a long ball too, as we saw in one of the earlier games. 3 deliveries to go. 86 for 7. McFarlane has chipped in good as well. He's got 3 wickets for 11 runs. Sharing the bowling honours with Johnson. Salman, it's got that in the air. 2 fielders coming around. This could be a collision. Oh, it's popped out of his hands. And they've crossed over for 2 runs. Bit of comedy of errors. It stayed in the air for a long, long time. And 3 fielders converging on it. But just slight confusion. Salman ran pretty quick. Got the 2 runs. He's back on strike with 2 deliveries to go. These little errors in the field could add up towards the end. But we have to wait and see if this is a total of 88. It's competitive enough as Salman has thumped that down the ground, looking for 2 again. Good pick up and an excellent flat return. So 89 is the total, and now Mittu is on strike for the final delivery of the innings. It's the crowd roaring for Mittu as McFarlane is threatening to do a man cut, but very sporting of him. He decides not to do it. Crowd chanting Mittu, Mittu as he got an inside edge. His short strides, he's a short man looking for 2. The ball is not dead, but he's gave his wicket away. Little bit of fun and games towards the end, but 1 run added to the total. So Atlanta Fire finishes on 90 for 8 of their 10 overs, recovering slightly after a horrific start they had, thanks to a sensational Johnson hat-trick. So the Reggae Warriors would need 91 to win this final game of the league stages and the final game of today. So the batting honours well and truly stolen by Antoine. He scored 51 of just 26 deliveries. A little bit of a support from Chris. They had a partnership after the early wickets of the top order, thanks to a Johnson hat-trick. But the bowling honours were taken by Johnson, ably supported by McFarlane with a 3-wicket haul as well. So 91 will be the target for Reggae Warriors. We'll take a short break here and we'll be right back with you with the run chase.